What's up, YouTube? Um, I'm gonna do a little something different. I am gonna do a top 10 rating this season on quarterbacks, wide receivers, running backs, and tight ends. Um, Now, a lot of people may disagree with me on this because, whether they're biased or, they just think that it's wrong. So, you can voice your opinions, comment, and I would like to know who is your top 10. Um, because this is going to take a while, so I'm just going to get right into it. Not going to really get into stats mostly. Maybe the first, like, top two, maybe, but I'm going to start off with top 10 quarterbacks. And I have my list right here. So, my top 10 quarterbacks. At number 10, I have Derek Carr. This is his rookie season, and he had over 4,000 yards, 30 plus touchdowns with only like 10 picks, I think. He had a really good rookie year. The future looks bright in Oakland. You know, they can't really do any worse than what they've done already. So, I mean, we'll see. Number 9, I have Blake Bortles. Regular season, he had 4,428 yards, 35 touchdowns, and 18 interceptions. He had a great year. I mean, 18 interceptions isn't that great, but, the yardage, the touchdowns, even though he had an 88.2 rating, I mean, he's looking like, their franchise quarterback. They finally found their franchise quarterback, so we'll see. Number 8 is my boy, Philip Rivers. And you may wonder why I put him so low. I mean, it's been a rough year. His QB rating 93.8. 4,792 yards, 29 touchdowns, 13 picks. He definitely had a great year, career year. Unfortunately, the season did not turn out the way that I thought it was going to be. But, what can you do, right? It's, I'm hoping the next couple years, we can win our ring for him because he deserves it. He's one of the hardest, toughest QBs to come. Let's see. Okay, number 7, which people are gonna be like, well, why isn't he ranked at least like top 5? But this is mine. Drew Brees. Phenomenal year he had. Despite them not making the playoffs, the Saints. He had an unbelievable year with almost 5,000 yards, 4,870 yards with 32 touchdowns, 11 picks, 101.0 passer rating, which is great. Yeah, I mean, all you can say is he had a great year. The team, not so much, but personal stats, unbelievable year. And you're probably going to think why, number 6, Breeze should be at least number 6 besides this guy. But number 6, I got Russell Wilson. Now, he had a subpar, first couple games of the season, They went 2-4, I believe. Yeah, 2-4. They got Cam Chancellor back, and things started to roll from there. He has 4,024 yards, 34 touchdowns, and 8 interceptions with a 110.1 passer rating. He pretty much brought them back into contention. Yeah, they're definitely a great team. back-to-back Super Bowl appearances, winning one. Um, you know, they almost came. They almost came back against Carolina. Um, so that's really why I got Russell Wilson at number six because they did make the playoffs and even have a losing record. Some may disagree with me. That's fine, but you know, number five. It could be a little biased, I guess. I don't know. I just think he did for the injuries he had, for what the team has gone through. Just number five. I got Ben Roethlisberger. Just a great season for the amount of injuries and crap happening around the team. You know, we did have our wide receivers from like all the whole season. Bell got hurt. Well, actually, no. Martavius Bryant, he was suspended 4 games, so we didn't have Martavius for 4 games, and then Bell got hurt. Big Ben missed like 5 games, so he had 3,938 yards, 21 touchdowns, 16 interceptions, and 94.5 rating. Just imagine if he didn't miss, those 5 games, 4 games, what could he have done? That's why I went with number five because he overcame a lot and still put up numbers. So, I mean, and you can hate me all you want, whatever. I don't give a shit. In my opinion, he did a hell of a job. Number four, I got Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers had a great year, no doubt. Just because the team didn't do too well, I mean, they made the playoffs, whatever, and all this stuff. He had a great year. He had 3,821 yards, 31 touchdowns, and 8 interceptions with a 92.7 rating. It's all overlooked because of how team play in Green Bay is, and they were average this year. They made the playoffs, lost their first playoff game. Was it the first playoff game or? Oh yeah. But oh no, they won their first playoff game against the Redskins. I forgot their second playoff game in the divisional. But he had a great year, so I mean that's why he's number four. Number three, I don't really give a shit. Tom Brady for 4,770 yards, 36 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, 102.2 rating. I mean, he's clearly one of the best quarterbacks, in our generation. So, in the last decade and a half, but he didn't have, the best season. I mean, to the other 2 quarterbacks I have. So, yeah. Number 2, and I was really contemplating on, who should go first and who should go second. But number 2, I got Carson Palmer. 4,671 yards, 35 touchdowns, 11 picks, 104.6 passer rating. He had a career year, and for the age he is, and all the crap that he's been through, dealing with the crap in Oakland and Cincy, it's really nice to see him, be in this position, making a chance. He just needs 2 more wins and he has a ring. Him and Larry Fitzgerald. He had an unbelievable year. So, that's why I have him at number 2. Some may disagree with me again and can't really do anything about it. So, I mean, I respect the hell out of him. So, and at number 1, a lot of people are like, why number 1? But he had an MVP season. Cam Newton. 3,837 yards, 35 touchdowns, 10 picks, 99.4. And you say, well, the numbers don't match because, Palmer, Brady, had better numbers and stuff. Even Wilson, but it's just the way the way he played the game. I mean, he's just in my opinion, he's the MVP, and that's really all you can say. So yeah, those are my top 10. Number 11, if I had number 11, it'd probably be Andy Dalton, but he didn't really show that much this year. So yeah, top 10 running backs. Now, there's not many that great running backs out today, so it was kind of hard. But I'm gonna go number 10. Now, this is a little biased, and he was doing so good before he got injured. Number 10, I got Le'Veon Bell. Let's see. He definitely could have been hit the 2,000 yard mark, I believe. He had five. He had 5,000. He had 556 yards in 6 games played. I mean, with 3 touchdowns, and that's pretty good with 113 attempts. So imagine, in 6 games he had 500. He could have hit. I honestly believe he could have hit the 2,000 mark, but unfortunately, injury got to him, and you know what happens. Number 9, I have Eddie Lacy. Um, I mean, not too, not a bad year, but not a great year. For player that he is, and so. But yeah, number 8, and this kid really impressed me as a rookie. I mean, not guys like Gurley and stuff, but Amir Abdullah from the Lions. I mean, he had 597 yards, 143 attempts, 4.2 average per yard, 4.2 yards per average, 2 touchdowns. He done really good. And he's gonna just keep getting better, in my opinion. But yeah. Number 7 is Thomas Rawls, and he just came out of nowhere. Like, he came out of nowhere. 830 yards, 147 attempts, 5.6 yards average with 4 touchdowns. He's definitely he's the back of the future back of the Seattle Seahawks. With Marshawn Lynch possibly done. Um, yeah. He's a really good player, and he's gonna be in Seattle for a while. So, number 6, I got David Johnson, who is the running back for the Arizona Cardinals, a rookie. 125 attempts, 581 yards, 4.6 yards average, 8 touchdowns. He came as a surprise as well, because they got Chris Johnson, and he was doing pretty decent. He got hurt, and Dave Johnson took the load and did pretty good. Yeah, I mean, pretty good. Number 5, man. Number 5, I got. You know what? Yeah, number 5, DeAngelo Williams. What an unbelievable pickup he was. He came in at the starting of the season because Le'Veon Bell was suspended for 2 games. Le'Veon Bell came back, did a little 1-2 knockout punch with them, and then Bell got hurt, and then Williams just carried the load for him, and he did so good this year. 907 yards, You know, 4.5 yards per average, 11 touchdowns, 200 carries. Um, you know, he is just an unbelievable player. You know, how old he is and stuff, and just, I mean, he's not old, he's only 32, but to come into our system and, you know, do that, he's going to stay with this team. So, I have him top five. Number four, I have Devontae Freeman. And Devontae Freeman, also, I think he's a rookie. No. Is he? No, he's a. Is he? No, this is his second year. But this is pretty much his breakout year. And he had 1,056 yards, 265 attempts, 4.0 average yard, with 11 touchdowns. You know, another breakout player, you know. And, I mean, his stats speak for himself. So, I'm pretty sure he's going to be their back for the rest, you know, for the rest of his career or whatever happens. And, you know, we'll see, because there's starting to become a couple, you know, good running backs in this league. So we'll see, you know, who takes the thing. Number three, I have Doug Martin. Doug Martin did pretty good, you know, for the team that he was in, the, you know, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So that's why I have him at number three. 1,402 yards, 4.9 average, 6 touchdowns, and 288 attempts. You know, that guy's pretty solid. He's been in this league since 2012, and I'm pretty sure they're gonna stick to him. You know, he's second. He was second in. Was he second? Yeah, he was second in yardage behind Adrian Peterson. But yeah, just promising player. Number two, and I really liked him. You know, number two is Todd Gurley. He is for a rookie who got injured, who got injured and missed like, was it 3-4 games, putting up 1,106 yards, 4.8 carries, 4.8 yards per carry with 10 touchdowns, 229 attempts. Todd Gurley is going to be one of the great running backs of in my opinion, of our generation. He is the Adrian Peterson. You know, he's molding into the Adrian Peterson. He'll be top five for the rest of his career, in my opinion. And yeah, you know, Rams are lucky to have him as long as he stays healthy. Yeah. And number one, you all know, Adrian Peterson. Again, best running back in the league. 1,485 yards, 4.5 average yards average, 11 touchdowns, 327 attempts. He's just the best. That's all I can really say. Okay, now I'm going into top 10 wide receivers. This is pretty difficult as well, because there's so many good receivers. But, you know, like, if you agree to disagree. Number 10, I have Doug Baldwin. He's been decent, I mean, throughout his career. But this year he was pretty good. 1,069 yards, 3.7 average yards, 14 touchdowns, 78 catches. You know, just up and coming. You know, I mean, he's only been in the league for 4 years, so, you know, we'll see. But yeah, he's my number 10. Number 9, and I kind of should have put him higher, but I have Larry Fitzgerald, and Larry Fitzgerald he's a legend. He's a legend, and he's gonna be in the Hall of Fame. He is one of the best, you know. But there are a lot of other players that did better than him this year, I guess. So that's why I'm high, lower, with 1,215 yards, 109 catches, 9 touchdowns, and I would love nothing more than to see him win a Super Bowl before he retires, because that man he's a great dude. So yeah. Number 8, now it's like the stats don't really come up to play with Fitz and this guy, but he is a rookie, and the numbers he put up as a rookie is pretty impressive, so that's why I put him higher. Amari Cooper, 1,070 yards, 72 catches, 6 touchdowns. And he was Roll Tide Alabama, so I've seen him play. Great player. He's going to be one of the best wide receivers to come in the NFL. And yeah, I have a lot of good things to say about him. But yeah. Next, let's see, number 7. Now this guy came out of I'm not too familiar with Jaguars players or anything like that, but this guy came out of nowhere, I think, because this is only his second year in the league. Allen Robinson, 1,400 yards, 14 touchdowns, 80 catches. I've never really seen him play, but by the stats, he's pretty good. I'm definitely gonna watch him next season. But yeah, I don't really have much to say because I don't, but yeah. Next one is, personally, I don't really give a shit. I don't really like him as a person. He's decent wide receiver. He makes stupid one-handed catches. He doesn't really try, to make plays. He's just the flashy. Odell Beckham Jr., 1,450 yards, 96 catches, 13 touchdowns. After what he did in the Carolina game, I don't really give a shit anymore. So he's number 6. Number 5. And I wish he was on a different team, just because I don't like the Bengals. But number 5, AJ Green. 1,297 yards, 86 catches, 10 touchdowns. Yeah, he's a great overall player. He's one of the best in the league, right now. Top 5. And yeah. Sorry I don't really have much to say about these, players and stuff. I just, do the stats and, but yeah. Number 5, AJ Green. Number 4, Calvin Johnson. 88 catches, 1,214 yards, 9 touchdowns. Calvin Johnson has just been a beast. He's ever since he came in the league, he's just been tearing it up. He's top 5 wide receiver. And definitely, I think, not his greatest year. That's why he's not higher up, but he had a great year. Yeah. Number 3, DeAndre Hopkins. This guy came out of nowhere. Um, um, well, I mean, not really nowhere because he was drafted in 2013, and just he's I mean 1,521 yards, 101 111 catches with 11 touchdowns. I mean, with no QB, Brian Hoyer, Brandon Weeden as a QB, and put up those numbers, that's pretty freaking impressive. With 3,533 yards in his career so far, give him a top tier quarterback, and he will put the numbers up. He can at least break 2,000. And yeah, he's just going to rack that up. Number 2, you know, stats, he's the number one, stats wise, he is the leader of yardage. But, you know, he's one or two, he's second best wide receiver in the game. Julio Jones, 1,871 yards, 136 catches with 8 touchdowns. You know, with Matt Ryan as a quarterback, I mean, he was he was the closest player to break 2,000. But you can see, like, with Hopkins and Jones, Matt Ryan is pretty much almost elite, sorta. But he's not Brian Hoyer, who is awful. But yeah, Jones had a great year. And it sucks for the Atlanta Falcons, 5-0, and then just completely down the drain. Because, they were looking good. But, and number 1, let's see. Number 1 for me is, of course, Antonio Brown. This guy is something special to watch. 1,834 yards, 10 touchdowns, 136 catches. He's been in the league since 2010, but didn't start. And, he played 9 games in 2010. Only 16 catches with like 167 yards, but other than that, he in the last 5 years he's put up 1,000 plus yards in 4 seasons, and almost in 2012 almost 1,000. But he is honestly the best wide receiver, all around wide receiver in the game today. You can ask anybody. I mean, it could be a little biased for me, but he's just unbelievable, and he's just going to keep getting better. It's unfortunate that he couldn't play in the Denver Pitt game in playoffs. It happens. And yeah, and he's really good in special teams too. So that even makes him even better, because a lot of these guys don't play special teams, but he does, and he will run it back for a touchdown. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much it. I want to do a soon, I guess, I don't know, fantasy mock draft. What teams are gonna, who the team should pick and whatever. Upcoming 2016 draft. So yeah, see you later, YouTube.